What's up everyone, and welcome back to the Bold and the Beautiful 24 official channel. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button today. Let's get started. Ridge rescues true love Brooke in Italy. The Bold and the Beautiful reveals that Ridge Forrester will save Brooke Logan in Italy from his true love. Liam Spencer's twist will also become clear while Ivy Forrester reminisces. So let's talk about what's ahead on B&B. Sheila Sharp will stop by the Spencer mansion, where she'll have an awkward conversation with Steffi and Liam Forrester. Steffi may express some gratitude for Sheila's efforts to save her from Luna Nozawa, despite the fact that she could never completely get past the things she did. Liam did most of the work to bring Luna down in the end, but Sheila did take a bullet to the foot while trying to save Steffi. Sheila will joke about losing another toe and express her gratitude to Liam for saving Steffi's life. Regarding Luna, it appears that fans are on the verge of receiving a more in-depth explanation regarding what actually transpired with her. Lee Finnegan most likely smuggled Luna out of the hospital, just like she did with John Finn Finnegan once upon a time. Luna may discover that Lee has staged her death when she wakes up at a secret location at some point. When Luna blames Papi Nozawa for destroying her daughter's life and never giving her a real chance at success, Lee couldn't bear to send Luna back to prison. Fans of B&B will also see scenes with Kelly Spencer and Beth Spencer, giving them a kid-friendly version of Liam's medical story and the news that he will be fine after surgery. Naturally, Grace and her colleague gave the impression that they were just going through the motions to steal $1 million from Bill Spencer with that procedure. When Finn examines the entire situation more closely, he may discover that Grace fabricated Liam's tumor when he was admitted for a brain bleed. Over with Ivy, she'll take a trip down memory lane. Ivy will be thinking about her relationship with Liam, and now that we know he still has a future, it's possible that it will include a reunion with Ivy. Brooke and Nick Marone, who will even have an engagement ring box at one point, should have a wonderful time touring Italy. Ridge, on the other hand, will be unable to resist Brooke's magnetic pull, as she will require his assistance in a crisis. When Brooke falls into the water, it appears that Ridge will come to her rescue, which will reveal his true love. As a result, according to the Bold and the Beautiful, Taylor Hayes' devastation is brewing. Therefore, keep an eye on us for updates on the heartbreaking information that will follow. Italy's rolling hills and romantic villas are unparalleled when it comes to love, legacy, and lavish drama, especially when the Bold and the Beautiful decides to move the action across the Atlantic. This time, Ridge Forrester and Brooke Logan are the ones who get caught up in a life-changing event that will reverberate throughout the corridors of Forrester Creations and in the hearts of everyone who has ever wanted to see the Bridge reunion. While chaos brews in Los Angeles, with Liam Spencer's medical trauma shaking his loved ones, Sheila Carter limping her way back into people's lives, and Ivy Forrester drifting through bittersweet memories, across the world in Europe, Ridge Forrester's long-simmering emotions boil over when he must make a split-second heroic decision to save the woman he just can't let go of, Brooke Logan. Brooke and Nick Marone, yes, that Nick, are spotted strolling hand-in-hand through cobblestone streets, reminiscing over old times, laughing over gelato, and even examining an engagement ring Nick has tucked away in a velvet box at the beginning of an innocent getaway. Even though Brooke's radiant charm is making Nick fall back, the woman herself seems restless and distracted, like her soul is tied to someone else. Ridge Forrester, who had no intention of traveling across the ocean but was ultimately compelled to do so by his heart rather than logic, enters the picture. A chance business deal with the Milan Forrester boutique puts Ridge in the perfect position to run into Brooke once again, and despite Taylor Hayes' hopes back home that Ridge would finally move forward and choose her once and for all, it becomes clear that destiny has other plans. Ridge's initial strategy was to keep his cool and avoid old friends, but everything changes when he sees Brooke laughing with Nick on the terrace of an old villa with a sadness in her eyes that only he can understand. The weather literally and emotionally changes at that point. The sky becomes darker as clouds gather over the Amalfi coast, and an abrupt wind blows. Brooke, always impulsive, always radiant, decides to get a better view of the waves below, leaning over the balcony's edge to snap a photo. But the stones are wet and the rail is old, and just as a wind gust hits, Brooke Logan slips and falls toward the crashing sea and jagged rocks below. Time seems to slow. Nick yells. The onlookers freeze. However, Ridge moves. Ridge Forrester dives off the terrace without a second thought or hesitation, following her into the churning ocean. Nick panics as the crowd screams, but then, a miracle. Ridge surfaces, gasping, cradling Brooke in his arms. She is alive but coughing and confused. It becomes clear to everyone, but especially to Brooke, that Ridge has never stopped loving her as they hold hands, as the salt water runs off their bodies, and as the Italian sun breaks through the clouds. This isn't your typical rescue. It's a soul-saving moment, the ultimate act of love, and a cosmic reset for two people whose destinies have collided again and again through decades of heartbreak, betrayal, weddings, annulments, and passionate reunions. Ridge carries Brooke ashore like a knight from a bygone era, whispering her name like a prayer. As emergency crews rush in and Nick hangs back, watching helplessly, the truth settles like gold dust in the air. Brooke belongs to Ridge, and Ridge to Brooke, no matter how hard they've tried to rewrite their story. The ripple effects are immediate in Los Angeles. When Taylor Hayes learns what happened in Italy, she puts on a brave face, but the pain is clear. She had hoped that her future with Ridge would be stable and based on shared values. But how can she stand up to the woman Ridge literally put his life on the line for? Meanwhile, on crutches, Sheila Sharp stumbles into the Spencer mansion and tries to connect with Steffi and Liam. Even though Steffi is still wary, she can't deny that Sheila assisted in disarming Luna Nozawa during her final moments. This act saved Steffi's life, even though it cost Luna hers. Liam, recovering from his own brain surgery nightmare, offers a measured nod of gratitude, but the room thickens with unease. Sheila makes fun of her foot and how many toes she has, but she has a hunger in her eyes for acceptance, forgiveness, and belonging. Even though Liam may have smiled, the skepticism never completely leaves the room. Finn begins to investigate Liam's medical mystery further across town. As Finn examines hospital records and digital scans, he begins to suspect the unthinkable. Grace might have faked the tumor entirely. Grace Buckingham's reputation is falling apart. Although it is a terrifying concept, it provides an explanation for the inconsistent symptoms and surgical outcomes of Liam. Is it possible that Grace orchestrated a complex con to steal from Bill Spencer, putting Liam's life and brain in danger? Ivy Forrester, meanwhile, is walking memory lane alone, recalling moonlit kisses and shattered dreams. She had loved Liam once, deeply, and though they parted on uncertain terms, her heart stirs with old questions. If fate brings them back together, what happens? Especially now that Liam is insecure, lost, and looking for someone or something real. Elsewhere, fans are treated to tender scenes featuring Kelly Spencer and Beth Spencer, who are told that their father will be okay. It's a touching break from the chaos as Hope and Steffi each try to comfort their daughters while dealing with their own complicated feelings. Both women secretly dread what will happen next, and neither woman knows exactly where they stand with Liam right now. Especially in the event that Liam's memory comes back suddenly or never comes back at all. Luna Nozawa's fate takes a shocking turn in the meantime. Luna has been taken to a secret facility by Lee Finnegan, driven by guilt and motherly desperation, and her death has been staged to free Luna from prison. Luna discovers, groggy and perplexed, that her life as she knew it has ended. Lee refuses to let her daughter rot in a jail cell because she is of the opinion that Poppy failed Luna, failed them both. However, Luna, a fiercely independent individual, is appalled by what she has lost and enraged by the deception. Back in Italy, Brooke and Ridge share a quiet moment in the hospital. She rests on crisp white sheets, wrapped in blankets, sipping water, her voice barely above a whisper. She says, "You always save me, even when I refuse to be saved." Ridge smiles, brushing her damp hair from her face. "You are Logan to me. My Logan will always be you." The flame is rekindled in a flash. Certainly not due to proximity. Not because of nostalgia. But because they are one, two hearts that beat in unison despite storms that attempt to drown them, they belong together. It becomes clear that the eternal love triangle has changed once more as Ridge holds Brooke's hand and Nick watches from the hallway as he stealthily places the engagement ring back in his pocket. Ridge did more than just save Brooke from the water. He saved her from being herself, from settling, and from a future that would never match their love. As the sun sets on the Italian coast and word reaches Taylor, Hope, and everyone else back home, a new chapter begins for the Forresters, the Spencers, and the Logans. One thing is for certain. Nothing will ever be the same again, whether it results in weddings, war, heartbreak, or healing.